Ah! Ah! 6 out of 10 today. It's not super hot and awful today, so I'm actually feeling chill for once. It was awful yesterday, which is part of the reason why I didn't really get much done. Although I'm not going to be doing the grades and stuff off stream because I need shit to do on stream, you know. I have to do my line work and inking off stream and then have shit prepared to do on stream. That's sort of how shit is going to work. And if I don't have shit prepared, then you probably won't get any streams. Period. Don't remind me we have a heat wave coming. Nah, it'll be fine. Not a big deal. Nah, I'll win. Fill in the dark stuff streams. This is a dark elf manga, so there's lots of dark stuff to fill in. I'd like to be doing some dark elf filling myself, if you know what I mean. Texas heat has been killer. Fuck my life. Look on the bright side. In the winter, you can have an unexpected snowstorm and have your entire power grid shut down because it's running on some weird-ass local market capitalist system that nobody else uses. And then if you have power, you can get charged $15,000 for 3 hours of electricity because the market has adjusted in a weird way. And your state senator Ted Cruz can escape to the Bahamas and get caught at the airport. Hashtag don't mess with Texas. It rained cold today, so I'm okay, 98. I wish there was some way to just, like, eliminate winter, or excuse me, eliminate summer. Unfortunately, the opposite is happening. We're gonna get, winter is what's gonna get eliminated, and we're just gonna get fucking summer all day long. All year, every month. Sorry, I don't speak Fahrenheit. What is it in Celsius? Too hot is still too hot. Numbers are only a number. The real difference is whether you're one of those people that can tolerate that shit or whether you can't. My mother can tolerate that shit. I 100% can't. Please give me cold. I know, right? I wish we were having global cooling instead of global warming. Unfortunately. Yeah. About that. I wish, have you guys seen Snowpiercer? They start with Snowpiercer by, a bunch of airplanes fly over the world, spreading some new kind of gas that's meant to lower the world's temperature in the wake of global warming, and as a result the entire world becomes frozen. And right now I'm just like, you know what, if they can spread that Zyklon B of air temperature and just like eliminate 99.9% of the population, but it would be freezing cold instead of this fucking heat, I would take it. Just fucking bring a new ice age. That'll be more preferable to this shitty ass heat. The movie was kind of keynote, to be honest. I think about the Snowpiercer movie all the time, for some reason. It really hit a nerve in my brain in some way. I'm not sure why. Orbital geoengineering will be what we need to invest in to give us a break from the sun's wrath. True. Luckily, I live in a first world economy and country, and I have air conditioning, although my mother refuses to turn it on. And all the people who will be dying of global warming are like poverty level Indian farmers living in Mumbai who have to deal with 50 degrees Celsius heat with 95% humidity or some shit like that. And the rest of the world will be like, yeah, it's okay. I don't want to buy a more fuel efficient car. I like my SUV because it do be like that. Just build subterranean cities? I mean, we already have it. You only need to lower the temperature by like 10 degrees Celsius or like even 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It makes a huge difference. Like my room, which is uninsulated on the second floor, will be like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and then the room on the ground floor will be like 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and then the basement will be like 75 degrees Fahrenheit. It's really that simple. You just need to hide in the fucking basement and it's fine. Just describe Texas heat. It's 47 degrees Celsius here at 50 to 80% humidity. Isn't it different depending on what part of Texas? Isn't like Houston, for example, extremely bad? Because like you get the Gulf. The closer you are to the Gulf, I think the more you're getting fucked. 3 hours from Louisiana, yeah. Hell yeah, the Bayo. Down here in the swamps with the gators. Are you looking at the basement right now? I have like one day today in which it's a high in the 70s instead of high in the 90s, so I'm enjoying it. Tomorrow will be high in the 80s, the day after that will be also high in the 80s, and then it will be like high in the mid 80s or 90s, and it's like, fuck, we're done. But if I see that 7 next to the high on the weather report, I'm like, let's fucking go. I can finally like jog outside. It's going to be 110 for me next week. Good. When I am suffering from the heat, I will think about my followers in chat who are suffering from the heat even more, and it will make me feel better. The only thing that can ease my pain as someone who's living in the underclass of the heat lifestyle is the existence of slaves even farther below me who are living in Texas. I was fucking bitching about the heat to my mother, and she actually told me, like, but think about all the people in, you know, Mumbai. And I'm like, fucking Christ, Mom. Just because they're even more uncomfortable than me and literally dying from heat stroke doesn't mean my discomfort is any different. I'm still fucking uncomfortable. I'm either comfortable or uncomfortable. There really isn't any difference. Get back here, fucking slaves! Malaria is still a problem. So if you have air conditioning, it's better to have insulation instead of not have insulation. I think this should be, this is pretty self-evident. You close all of your windows when it's hot, and then you open them and bring in the cold night air when it cools down. Or you just run the air conditioning. What does the symbol on her cheek mean? It's one of the dark elf houses. I figured her design was a little too simple without some extra shit. Over paradise. Kids are cruel, Jack. When will her house be mercilessly murdered with no trace left behind as is custom? Haven't you actually read the manga? That's literally how the entire manga starts out. Why do you think the manga is titled My Dark Elf Stepsister? Where do you think they came from? I can't actually tell what percentage of chat are actually fans of my work and what percentage is just like shows up to fucking hassle me. Is there going to be more companions? Yes. There will be. It's tough love. It's okay. If any of you hassle me, I'll just fucking ban your ass. If only I could do the same in real life. It would make everything so much easier. I wish I had a timeout and ban button for human people. I would just ban everybody in the grocery store so I wouldn't have to deal with them. It would be glorious. It's called 9mm. Unfortunately, with that that level of stopping power, I can't reliably clear the entire food aisle to ensure that I'm alone. Haha, just kidding, Twitch chat. I'm only talking about Minecraft. That's probably my favorite gun nut meme, is when they're like, oh, 9mm? Ooh, I don't think that's enough stopping power. Like, what do you actually plan to shoot? Yeah, I don't think 9mm will suffice. Gun nuts in 22. Yeah, what is it with like the 22 caliber? They'll be like, yeah, 22 can't stop me. I feel like all pistols are kind of the same. I mean, they're not all the same. There was that kid in Minnesota who thought it would be a hilarious meme if he put a book in his abdomen underneath his pants and had his girlfriend shoot him with a Desert Eagle. And it turns out that 50 caliber rounds can penetrate a bunch of sheets of paper. But if it was a 9mm, he'd probably have been fine. So he died, by the way. Let that be known that there is such thing as differences in stopping power, but yeah. Remember that, LMAO? He was trying to be a YouTuber, so, you know, not much loss for humanity. If 9mm is not enough, you are not using enough. That's right. Make sure your Glock has an expanded 30 round magazine. His stopping power should have been brains, but I guess some folks are really lacking. I mean, he was making YouTube videos. That's really all you need to say. YouTubers will just be like, they'll fucking do anything to make it, right? They'll be like, oh, let me go to North Korea. Surely nothing bad will happen. It was for content. It was for content. Have you guys seen all the YouTube channels that are like, I went to Africa's most dangerous slum? And it's like, yeah, it's okay. The poverty tourist in YouTube. I just hope those people get like fucking mugged. Considering that they're specifically going to these horrible fucking places just so they can get YouTube views. Where's Japan's most dangerous slum? I've seen like 13 videos titled as I slept one night in Japan's dangerous slum. There are the YouTubers that go to Nigeria and stuff, but if you're truly a fucking shitty ass Japanese YouTuber who wants to take, if you want to take no risks but also get all the content, you go to Japan and you claim that you're slumming it in Japan because you can go to the worst location in Japan and it will be like far safer than an average American city. So they're like, oh man, I went to Japan's slum. It's like, yeah, I'm not impressed, buddy. In 40K, do you think there was a dark elf that is really into the Emperor? Please don't pretend like please don't get the wrong idea that I'm part of your tribe. I am not a 40K nerd, and I never will be, despite being forced to learn a lot about 40K because people keep on requesting that shit. I have tried to avoid 40K as much as possible, and yet I keep on getting dragged back in. I'm subscribed to like 10 YouTube channels on 4K lore, and every time I start watching one of their 3-hour videos because I need to have something on in the background while I draw, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm falling asleep. That being said, I do think it has some cool lore, but I can't handle the 8 billion... Like, I actually clicked on a video that was like a brief explanation of the Horus Heresy, and they went through every single fucking step of it, and it's the entire video is like 5.5 hours long, and it's like part 1, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you people? You could be like studying the Talmud or something. This is some like Orthodox Jew scholarship shit right here. It's just like, and the channel always has like 300 videos, and it's like my newest theory on the Emperor, part 6. Japanese prank in the slums gone right. Police politely asked us to leave. I mean, I was living in 2010 in a part that was quote-unquote downtown or classic Tokyo, and on like Saturday or Sunday morning I would be walking around and there would be like a boomer old guy passed out in the middle of the fucking street, and I walked up to him to see if he was dead or not and woke him up, and I was like, hey, you're gonna get run over, and he was like, and he went home. Haha, classic alcoholic Chad. I feel bad for learning conversational drought, yes. Don't worry, when they start torturing you, you will make the experience all the more enjoying for them by speaking to them in their native language, and they'll be like, hey, I can hear what he's saying as he screams. He's more understandable. Epic Japanese culture. I mean, it's not really unique to Japan. But pretty much everybody who was born between like 1910 and 1980 was like has some version of alcoholism, right? They're just like, I have to have a drink in my hand all day long. But we didn't call it alcoholism back then because it was considered to be normal. He says elves have minty milk, LMAO. It's Ed Greenwood. I disagree. I don't think anybody has minty milk. It's too refreshing. I don't agree with his interpretation of breast milk. Whatever it is, but it's not minty. I only want menthol in my cigarettes and my grasshopper pie flavored ice cream. Cucumber lime flavored. That tastes a little better. Reminds me of the weird Japanese flavors of Pepsi. They have azuki flavored, baobab flavored, cucumber flavored. He's a huge fucking horn dog. Apparently previous editions of D&D actually had charts which species can breed with which, and they made dragons be able to breed with literally anything. I think it would be the opposite. I feel like if dragons could breed with anything, the entire world would be overrun by dragons. The general rule is the weaker the species is, the faster they and more flexible they have to be at reproducing. So large megafauna like dragons aren't allowed to have lots of children. That doesn't make any sense. Goblins can fuck everything, and they're constantly breeding more goblins. If elves had that biology, and they also lived 7,000 years, then the entire world would be covered with elves, wouldn't it? I always like the color-coded D&D dragons. Autism. I never understood why they had to have the color-coded dragons and then they had to have the metallic dragons, which are the good dragons. So a white dragon is evil and then a silver dragon is good. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? That's such a vague color scheme. As someone who works in black and white, right? It's just like, come on, man. They both breathe ice, yes. You have to keep stuff simple. You can't be like, this color except it's metallic is the good version. Actually, I don't think, I think as a general rule, when you're building your fantasy world, you shouldn't make shit too simple. Like, you can tell which one is the evil one based on their color coding. Everything's more interesting if it's more complex, at least in terms of, like, you're not explaining stuff and making it surface level. So just make it that dragons can be good or evil, and then their color is just their element. That seems simple enough. I don't think, like, having the good or evil version be regularly apparent makes it any, adds really anything to the universe, if you think about it. Moral grayness. And that way, like, if you're in a party and you come across a red dragon, you know that it's going to be a fire dragon, but you don't necessarily know if it's good or evil. And you have to, like, you know, think whether you should attack it or not. If you have all of these weird, like, color coding rules, and if it's like, oh, it's a bronze dragon, that means I know it's good. It's like, come on, man. You're simplifying everything. Goblins always rape, but if they're good, they rape bad guys. Goblins always rape, but if they're good, then it becomes consensual halfway through. Like all of my hentai. Also, I know this is like peak BaalBuddy universe, but if there's anything we know about humans and what humans have done through history to creatures smaller than humans or creatures in any sort of defensive situation, it'll definitely not be the goblins doing the raping. If people had access to small human-sized creatures that have low intelligence and could be easily captured, and the rest of society doesn't feel bad if you do bad things to them, I'm pretty sure it's not the goblins who are going to be doing the raping. I don't know how to draw wrinkles, but this seems okay. Where the lands of Middle-earth find the Shire? True. People already draw porn of that scenario all the time with female goblins and other little creatures. I mean, I'm just talking about how reality works and what human men have done to their goats and stuff. As long as there is any kind of hole, humans will try and stick their penis in it. We know this from horrible accidents that happen with vacuum cleaners with rotating blades inside them. Pakistani raping some sort of small dolphins almost to a degree of extinction, so it basically just works like that. Yes. Not gonna justify it, but if you go online and look at some of the images of goblin reproductive organs, not goblin, dolphin reproductive organs, you'll understand why they made those choices. Car exhaust pipes, don't forget the classic video. Are you talking about the one of like Mind Strange Addiction where the guy is in love with his car? Oh yeah. Or the one where they put the Ona hole on top of the car exhaust pipe. Now that's a classic one right there. I don't want dolphin porn. Well, unfortunately, as long as you're on LimeWire downloading systemofadown.mp3, then you're getting your dolphin porn whether you like it or not. The Dutch man who had a thing for his bike. Actually, that's probably what we need to do as men, is grow fetishes for inanimate objects. That will prevent women from having so much power over us. That's what we need to do. We already do that with figurines. Both gobbles and dolphins have rape caves. Was the dolphin rape cave actually concluded to be like real, or did it turn out that people were just like fucking with us? There was an Olympic archer who fucked her bow and he presented it as a valid sexuality as being gay. The bow can't consent. Or can it? Do we not know? This is true. She was like a 3 or 4 year champion, then her and her bow broke up. I wonder if they would be as supportive of the relationship if it was a guy and he was like, I'm gun sexual, which is why I stick my penis in the bore of this large caliber rifle. Someone stuck his nuts in the action of an M1 Garand. The bolt slammed home. I can't tell if that's a real story or not because it seems possible. You'd think people would understand that they're not supposed to do it. But the way that the instructor makes you talk up your rifle, like, this is my rifle, there are many rifles like it, but this one is mine. That type of shit, it really makes you sound like you're marrying your rifle, so it's understandable that you would create all these rifle sexual people. In your setting, at which biological age do the elves stop aging? When they're hot enough. I was gonna say when the hair starts to grow in, but that wouldn't explain why you have this milky mommy mother. She is thicker than day-old oatmeal. I need to have a thick character starting from chapter 1 because I know all of my readers have a serious crippling porn addiction and they won't pay attention to the story if they don't see big fat milkers every 5 seconds. So I need to have one big titty character. Although Aubrey, her childhood friend, also has pretty big fat titties as well, but not as big as mommy's. This is important. What's the point of having a mommy character if she's not going to have big fat tits? Aubrey is like face-size boobs. mommy here is like as large as I feel they should be at any point in time. Instead of having full black, I think I'm going to... Are you going to do the gag where you draw the boobs bigger each time? No, I'm trying to keep them somewhat consistent, although it's pretty difficult. If there's one thing about AI porn, besides the AI porn not knowing the number of fingers human beings have, and also everything melting into formless blobs once in a while, one thing that AI has a lot of difficulty keeping track of is keeping boob size consistent. Have you noticed that? Anybody who looks at AI porn? Often, boob size will vary greatly from panel to panel, image to image. So, to prove that I'm human, I must prove my humanity by keeping the boob size consistent. To show I'm still superior to the machines. Also the areola being enlarged or not, yes. Actually, sometimes the nipples, the AI can't identify what the nipple is. And like the nipple, if like there's a BBC black guy fondling the breasts, like the nipple will be merging with his fingers and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that ain't right. Jacking off to AI porn in many cases is just an exercise in learning how to ignore flaws in a drawing. And being like, yeah, I'm not gonna let this fifth arm coming out of her back detract from my masturbation. Just focus on the boobs. Power Girl without her iconic boob window. So I was so angry about a set that I found in Pixiv where they generated Power Girl, but she was wearing the Power Girl costume and there just was no fucking boob window. It was just the white suit, except there was no boob window. And I just I was so fucking disgusted, I unsubscribed to that person on the spot. Like, I can't believe that AI prompter thought that was acceptable. It would be like if you generated Tosaka Rin, except she wasn't wearing her black thigh highs. Some things just are not allowed. And Power Girl's not having a boob window is just like, I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. The AI was probably trained on New 52 design. It doesn't matter. I've also seen other people generate Power Girl AI, and they can do the boob window. It wasn't that bad. It was only this person. If you can't fucking generate Power Girl with the boob window, then you shouldn't generate Power Girl at all. I think it's that simple. Actually, AI seems to have a lot of difficulty generating specific complex costumes. One thing that you don't see much of is Soul Calibur AI porn. Like, if you look for Ivy Valentine, you'll have a lot of difficulty finding her content, and when you do find her content, it's just a short-haired, white-haired woman, often wearing like a purple swimsuit or something like that, or a bikini, because that insanely complex ivy purple bondage costume, AI can't seem to do it. It has too many different parts of skin dentation and, you know, golden tassels and all that shit. I know because I've drawn it before. It's a real pain in the ass to draw. So I can understand why the AI just kind of gets confused and can't generate it. Being productive is hard, saw the title. A lot of my problems are coming from the temperature. When I get kicked out of my room because it's too fucking hot, my productivity goes way down. Are we shitting on AI again? I'm actually not shitting on AI. I'm just pointing out things that have impeded my AI-based masturbation habits recently. BB getting creative with mom's bathrobe. See, the thing is, you have to have darker areas in black and white comics. You need to have grays and you have to have whites. So what Oda does, and you see this with Nami's shirt and stuff, is he adds patterns in hard black. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm adding some patterns. I'm going to make this skirt black as well. BB isn't actually an AI enjoyer? Yes. Before I am an artist, I am a Coomer. Anything that increases the amount of titties in my Pixiv follower page, I'm okay with. I have to constantly feed my brain endless amounts of smut. And I don't care if machines produce it or not. That being said, I'm not going to give any AI prompters any money, but, you know. It's good enough. What's up with the box resolution? Because some people are going to be reading this shit on their phone, that's why. So you have several options. You can make it tall vertically like a manga page, which theoretically could maximize like a phone shape, a vertical box. You could make it long horizontally, which would more maximize like a computer screen. And because I don't really know how people are going to be consuming it, I decided to use these square boxes. Low resolution, so low's faster too. I mean, this is 6,000 by 6,000, so it's pretty fucking huge, but I don't know how that's going to be translated when I upload it to Twitter. I think it will be automatically downscaled and shit, so... Cooming is a necessity. You wouldn't understand that feeling when you haven't coomed in 6 hours and your balls start to feel uncomfortable. It's just like not shitting, you know? No one would be like, hey, how about you just don't shit for a month? I mean, you might be able to do it, but it's a bad idea, you know? Yes, I do. You don't have the semen supply buildup issue. I worry that I'm gonna get prostate cancer if I don't properly jack off. My vibrator is broken. Just find another vibrator. There's plenty of things in your house that vibrate. It's like a children's activity. Your vibrator's broken? Well, what other things in our house can we vibrate? What about the remote? What about the phone? What about the egg beater? What about the cat? Women can't use their futons to jack off. Skill issue. I don't know if there's anything that shoujo manga and Code Geass has taught me. It's that women can jack off using the corner of their desks in the Japanese schoolroom after all the other students have left the classroom. So if they're properly horny enough, they can do whatever they want. Do girls jack off in shoujo? Everything is more sexualized in shoujo, unlike shonen. In shonen, it's like, oh my god, the main character saw the girl's nipples. Whoa, that's crazy. In shoujo, it's like, tee hee, I love this guy. Also, he raped me. Doki doki. Because girls, that's what girls care about, especially like 12-year-old girls. Their brains are completely jacked up on like romance and sex all day long. So of course shoujo is the most depraved shit you can think of. There's a famous shoujo manga from like, I don't know, it was like early 2000s where the guy is carrying her while his dick is inside her. And she's like, I can't believe I'm walking around town with connected to show. My head feels like it's boiling. And that became a internet meme of the 2010s. It's just like, what the fuck are they teaching our daughters in shoujo manga? Yaoi is full of rape too. Tumblr people seethe about it all the time. What? Tumblr people seethe about yaoi rape? Why? That makes no sense. How will the rugby team senpai get taught that he's a piece of fuck meat by his kohai without wholesome yaoi rape? Rape is a no-no these days, not in Japan. Which is why they're trying, all the credit card companies are trying to change Japanese mentality. And Japan is just like, ha ha ha, don't care. This is just American snowflakes thinking that they have some sort of control over Japanese culture when they're just a bunch of consumers and they're probably not even paying customers in most cases. They're like, no, Japan, you can't do that. And it's like, oh, how did you get your hands on that doujin? Oh, that's right, you fucking pirated it, you piece of shit. You don't produce anything, you don't even pay for anything, and you think that you can control what Japan does with its culture? Fuck off. And credit card companies that think that they can control that shit can fuck off too. American media consumers, especially like the Tumblrites, are fucking parasites. They think they have any kind of say in what Japan produces. You don't even pay for shit. Why should a single Japanese person listen to your opinion? I was so mad for my Fanti account. I think you can still use the JCB Japanese credit cards, so I think you're gonna have to apply for one. I haven't bought anything from DL site and stuff since they started fucking shit up, but I think that you can bypass it by getting a Japanese credit card. I'll cross that bridge when I actually find a porn game that I like, which I haven't recently, so... People just want to be controlling fucksball. By people, you mean Westerners and Western media and Christians? Yes. Japan doesn't show up at Hollywood and be like, excuse me, sir. I don't like how you're making a movie about Oppenheimer because he nuked our country. I think you need to stop making it. They don't say that now, do they? Only America is like, oh, Japan, this country that has extremely low sexual crime rates. We know what's better for you. We better make sure that you can't fucking use MasterCard. Surely this will change stuff. Thank you, Mr. Christian Organization. Is this why hentai is not on Crunchyroll? I don't think hentai was ever really on Crunchyroll, but yes. Colonialism at its finest. Yep. It's pretty silly. It's especially funny because if you talk to these people about colonialism, they immediately agree how colonialism is evil. But they don't recognize what they're doing is cultural colonialism. I'm talking about like the Tumblr rights. They'd all be like, Israel, get out of Palestine. That's a new age of colonialism. But when it comes to them telling Japan to not produce yaoi rape porn, they're like, yeah, we're trying to make the world a more decent place. No need to thank us. A lot of artworks have been hidden recently, though, as a safety measure. Yes. Which is why whatever site you're using to consume Japanese stuff, you should need to A, save everything you like, and B, make sure you have backup plans. Don't assume everything will be available to you on the internet forever. I mean, I use the Japanese internet where I can just, like, still find stuff. If you can actually use hiragana and know what you're looking for, it's not that hard to find things. Unfortunately, there are some artists who I really like. There's a specific artist that I really like who doesn't sell his stuff digitally, and he's not popular enough for people to scan it and upload it. And I can't get his shit, and it bothers the hell out of me because he's on Twitter and he's advertising that he's selling stuff, but no one is there to scan it. So I can't even pirate it or buy it because he doesn't allow me to buy it. It drives me fucking crazy. How much physical porn do you have? Very little. I like my stuff digital on my laptop. I have a few books sitting around in the house. Katakana isn't always needed. Hiragana and katakana alone can get you quite a bit. Oh, speaking about censorship, if you type shit into the Japanese search engines now, you can't find not safe for work images anymore. Any kind of anime porn, if you use like Google image search in the Japanese search engine, if you're using hiragana and katakana, they completely purge everything about it. Something that isn't even true for American parts of the search engine. As long as you're using Japanese search engine in Japanese terms, you can't use Google image search for porn anymore. It's crazy, right? They just completely purged it. It's the same for Bing as well. It's not just Google. They really are attacking Japan. It's kind of crazy because they don't have that in the Western search engines. It's only just Japanese part. It blows my mind. Like if I don't go to google.jp.co and I type search words using the Japanese alphabet instead of English, so I'm making sure that I'm on the Japanese part of the internet, and I use Google image search and look for like, you know, Taki Soul Calibur nude, you will get 0 hits. You will not get any lewd images of her at all. This is only if you're using the Japanese part of the search engine. If you're using the American version of Google search, image search, you'll still get plenty of porn in the search results. So you can't directly go to porn using the search engine, porn images using the search engine anymore, but only if it's the Japanese version. It's literally targeting just Japan. I've seen some of it in Western ones. I just noticed that it's happened both in the last month or so. Taki is a classic. The fact that her nipples are visible in their natural format is what attracts me to her. Yeah, shit keeps on directing me to Spanish Google. Yeah. So that's another thing of why Google became really hard to use, is that for some reason, like at some point that they stopped officially segmenting their different search engines, their regionality of it. And then like, so if I put in Chinese characters when I'm looking for Japanese stuff, it will always take me to a Chinese website or Chinese Google, which is obviously not what I want. So I have to make sure I put in an extra hiragana in it, and then it will take me to Japanese Google. But it used to be you could just go to google.co.jp and you would never get Chinese search results, but they fucking changed that as well. I'm going to go ahead and say that technology in the past 10 years has only gotten worse somehow. Like, it's kind of crazy now that I think about it, but in the past 10 years, not only have we not had technological progress, shit has actually been steadily getting worse. It's become less usable, more censored, more expensive. We've actually officially entered the part where the tech companies and companies in general have realized that they can't produce anything worth buying that's new. So they're worsening services and making stuff more expensive and just making things worse to justify their existence. Fucked up shit, man. Search engine has fallen. Yeah, we're kind of past that point where there was a point where you could just type whatever you were thinking in Google and you would get exactly what you wanted, and we're kind of past that, and it's only getting worse. Stupid AI add-on makes it even worse. I haven't even touched any of the AI search options, but I can't imagine they make it better. I mean, I love how it's like we're just like classifying this new thing as AI as if we hadn't been using extremely complex search result software to begin with. It's like, no, now we have a thinking computer. It's like, no, we don't. We were already using like extremely complicated algorithms that were meant to predict what we wanted. So AI technically shouldn't be anything new, or whatever it is we're calling AI. But no, they're like, oh, AI this. Man, AI is such a fucking buzzword. I wonder if we're even going to be using AI. AI tech bros being able to classify whatever new systematic learning system they have as AI was a huge win for them, because it makes us think that we're talking to like a robot with a personality or some shit when it's just, you know, some sort of language model or whatever. It's definitely a buzzword. Remember how we had, just like 2 or 3 years ago, we had to explain to all the boomers what NFTs were? It's like, am I missing out on something? It's like, no, Dad, please don't buy any NFTs. That's all I can give you in terms of advice. Don't buy fucking NFTs, Dad. You're not missing out on anything. Nvidia is the only winner here. Yeah, but it's stock price. It's an unrealized loss gain. It can all go back down. If in the hear me out here. I know this is a crazy idea, but there's a very, very small chance that Nvidia is not actually worth $5 trillion or whatever it is worth right now. I might be wrong on this, but there's a very small chance that Nvidia possibly, the stock might possibly be a little too high, and AI might not control the entire world in the future, and maybe Nvidia isn't worth $1 trillion, guys. Just throwing it out there. Impossible, I'm a shareholder. It will go up forever, guys. Remember, guys, the number will never go down, ever. The stock market is undefeated. Even when the population of our country starts shrinking because people aren't having children, the economy will never shrink. Productivity and profits will go up forever. I actually think that the S&P 500 is a pretty good bet on it going up forever, because it's the top 500 the largest companies. So even if population goes down and productivity goes down, as long as the US government doesn't stop all these companies merging and becoming bigger and bigger, shittier monopolies, it probably will continue to go up, because it's only the largest companies. So you can just like continue to consolidate shit in the worst way possible for consumers. All the immigrants are having kids will be good. This is what makes America way stronger than like China. Nobody wants to fucking live in China, whereas America still has like 18,000 Ecuadorians who are like, you know, America's great compared to my awful South American shithole, so I'm gonna come here and I'm also gonna have like 12 kids. And they can work at Chick-fil-A just like I am. The number will continue to go up. And only the stupid-ass Fox News Republicans are like, no, America's a country by white people. You know, don't pay attention to all the people that were living here before the white people. You can't do that. Not understanding that that's what pays their social security. A lot of people speak Spanish in America. No one speaks Spanish in China. I mean, nobody wants to fucking live in China, dude. Not even the Chinese people want to live in China. China is like an actual fucking dystopia. Say what you will about America, as bad as things are in America, if you have money and you get to that point where you have money, you can live a pretty nice lifestyle. So it's easy to convince people that, like, as long as you quote unquote make it here, you're good to go. Whereas everybody knows that if you're in China, even if you're a billionaire, if the government steps in and is like, fuck you, they can just put you in prison and take away all your money. So nobody wants to fucking live in China. And considering their population is going down, it seems extremely silly how everyone was pissing their pants 10 years ago about how China was the future and, you know, everybody is going to be living under Chinese control in the next 10 years. And while Americans are struggling to read at a 3rd grade level, all the Chinese kids are fucking learning how to code in elementary school and all that shit. Those were the times. I would see like one America is losing to China right now editorial in the newspaper like once per week. It was really like, it reminds me of when Japan figured out how to make decent cars, unlike Detroit, and Americans were like, it's over. Japan owns us now because Honda figured out how to build a car that will actually start in cold weather. We're fucking done. If you have a little bit of money in China, you either move away or import everything, food, cars, sometimes even architects for your house and stuff. Yeah, you try and get to Canada, basically, is the goal there. US might be difficult, but you try and go to Montreal or something. I was reading, it was something about border patrols in Minnesota and how they were going to change something because like some sort of Pakistani immigrants had got into Canada and they were trying to immigrate into the United States illegally by crossing the Canadian border through Minnesota or something in the middle of the winter, and they fucking froze to death. And I couldn't help but think like, guys, it's already mission accomplished when you get to fucking Canada. You don't need to go to America. America isn't going to be better than Canada, dude. Just stay in fucking Canada. You've already gotten where you need to be, dude. Don't come to America. You know what Honda and Toyota did? They tried different parts for their cars and then they used the ones that worked and kept using them because they were reliable. And now they have some of the most reliable consumer cars. Goddamn fucking Japanese. Making reliable products. That being said, my practically new Honda Insight 2019's HVAC system doesn't seem to be working, so I don't know how reliable it is right now. These are global corporations at this point, so I don't know if they're maintaining the same level of standards and quality that we expected in the 90s. Still, if you go and try and buy a used car right now, and if you're looking at like, say, $10,000 cars, the ones that are Japanese brands at the same price point will always have an extra like 40,000 miles on them. So if you want a $10,000 car, you can get like a Dodge Charger with like 80,000 miles on it, or you can get a Toyota Camry with 120,000 miles on it, because the market just expects them to last longer. And I assume that if the quality, at least in terms of the engine and stuff, had declined to the point where people knew that they weren't going to last, it wouldn't be reflected in the price point like that, but it still is. Hope Japan won't emulate America's SUV craze. They won't, because you literally can't drive SUVs on Japanese streets because there's not enough space. There's some Japanese like big car enthusiasts who will go out of their way to import an Expedition or something, but if you see an American car on a Japanese street, you're like, holy fuck. It's similar to the experience of seeing an American human being in a Japanese city, in that it's like looking at a gigantic fat ass struggling to make his way in an environment that wasn't designed for someone who is grossly overweight. You're like, how the fuck is that thing gonna get through that doorway? The lack of small fuel-efficient cars here is soul-crushing. The lack of not just being able to use the train system to get where you want is soul-crushing. How about that? I don't ever think about cars in general in Japan, whether it's like crossing the street or owning a car or anything, because A, the Japanese drivers are generally way better drivers than Americans, and B, I don't have to own a car, I can just use the fucking train. It's a different mindset. Lack of walkable cities. It's especially funny where there's like places in America where if you try and walk, like people will try and run you over on purpose because they're like, fuck pedestrians. Your very existence is offensive to me. I hate you. You know, like Miami. Many such cases. It's surprising that you'd advocate for public transport since that means spending time around people. Yeah, I fucking hate being around people in public transportation. But I also fucking hate driving as well. I generally just don't like going places and doing things, so there's that. If I can get away with just staying in my house all day long, I'll just do that. Seems like a good strategy if you ask me. I do masturbate to JAV Chikan videos though. It's a life hack that I figured out to avoid the annoying squeaky screaming noises that Japanese porn stars make. You watch Chikan videos where they're pretending to be molested in a public space. That way they don't squeal. It's much more tolerable. I like driving on highways, that's it. If there's a city I want public transit. Yeah, but what if the highway is completely full and you're not making any progress? Like, you know, any day in Los Angeles. You are so fucking random. It's not random. I've talked about this before. Hystrixia knows that this is a common theme of me. I don't like the sounds that Japanese porn stars make. And I've learned to bypass it by either turning off the sound entirely or listening to train ASMR. A lot of times they use buses instead of trains because I assume the train they have is a set. I don't think they have their private railway. Whereas with a bus they actually drive it around. I don't know where they found the set for the airplane though. Is there some language that does it for you in porn? I remember you said you like Czech porn star. Yeah, but I don't like her for her language. I just prefer if I mean most porn stars don't really have the ability to express themselves in sound in a way that doesn't annoy me, so I just prefer if they wouldn't talk altogether. Male porn stars especially, please shut the fuck up, Jesus Christ. There's nothing more annoying when you're trying to jack off and then the guy who's holding the camera is like speaking right into your ear and being like, oh, it's like, holy shit, shut up. Oh my god, shut up. This isn't supposed to be gay porn. You can do that for your gay porn. Don't do it for heterosexual porn. Nobody wants to fucking hear you. Shit, can you guys hear the ice cream truck in the background? It's coming, boys. It's right here. It's pretty faint. I don't know if the mic is gonna pick it up. Is it gay to like bukkake? I mean, you have to imagine that all of the cum on her face is your cum and nobody else's. Then it's wholesome. But if you're like, yeah, I'm really turned on to a woman who's covered by the semen of all these other guys because they're other guys' semen, then that's either gay or it's in the cuckold fetish. About to get an ice cream? Nah. Those ice cream trucks, they don't actually have any ice cream that I want. I kind of like the good humor or whatever. The, what do you call them? The strawberry, I don't know if it's cheesecake, but you know the strawberry cake bars that have all the thing on the outside? The crunchy stuff on the outside? I kind of like those, but they're always overpriced as fuck. Ice cream is another thing where Japan is way better at doing it than America. Japanese ice cream fucking kicks ass. Convenience store ice cream kicks ass. But the ice cream truck bar selection is kind of weak. It's clearly meant for kids without discerning taste, instead of culinary gourmands like myself. I would like to have soda flavored ice cream someday. Japan really figured out the blue flavor thing. America failed with their blue raspberry bullshit. The ramune / soda flavor is peak flavoring that Americans haven't figured out. At the very least, they could do the Mountain Dew Baja Blast flavor as their blue flavor, but blue raspberry was always shit. As a kid, you just liked blue raspberry because it was blue, and food isn't supposed to be colored blue. But deep down, you always knew the flavor itself wasn't that good. That is different in the case of Japan, where you have soda flavor. Soda flavor is fucking awesome. It's great. I liked it because it was sour. Yeah, but you have better sour flavors as well, like green apple and shit. America's food is really bad compared to most other nations. True. You know this because as soon as you get like South American immigrants in your area, immediately the quality of the food goes up. You're like, oh, thank God there's immigrants moving into our neighborhood. Finally some good food. It's kind of like in Britain where they're like, oh, thank God our entire neighborhood is overrun by Pakistanis. There'll be something to eat besides horribly cooked eggs and beans and shit. The food will actually taste like something now. There is a reason why I tolerate this state. Yeah. Gotta get those taco trucks, boys. I remember there was like someone during a campaign election was like, if we elect Obama again, there will be taco trucks on every corner. And everyone was like, fuck, let's go. I can't wait. I need my taco truck now. He did not mean it as a positive, but everyone was like, we need the tacos. I've talked about this before, but I just like to say that tacos are inferior to burritos because they fall apart. Anything that you have to worry about falling apart in your hand is kind of inferior to the version where it's not going to fall apart. Like, essentially they have the same flavor. You also are always going to get more food in a burrito than a taco. It's always going to be a better deal. For this reason, I'm definitely going to push burritos more than tacos. Burritos are inferior to shawarma. Yeah, but those are different flavors. Like, burrito and taco are just like two different vehicles for delivering the same combination of ground meat and cheese and whatever. Cilantro. Burrito is good if you are actually hungry. Oh god, don't give me the whole I want less food because I don't want to eat as much shit. Just give me the entire fucking burrito, please. If I'm showing up at Mexican food, I'm definitely hungry. I want my extra cheese or something. Since you don't have any empathy, does this mean you don't love your parents at all or any type of bond with them? I don't know. I think I have some amount of empathy. It's just like a small drop in a bucket. I have to really squeeze that sponge to get that empathy to drip out. My average and immediate response to anything is thinking about myself. A total lack of empathy would make you an actual sociopath. I don't have a total lack of empathy, but it's pretty close. I just have enough self-awareness to realize that that's fucked up and I have to properly control myself so I don't become a sociopath. Which is, you know, the only thing that is preventing me from becoming a sociopath, basically. You seem to feel more in regards to your father. Not really. I think I feel the same amount of general, like, normal human emotions to both my father and my mother. However, I wouldn't, I wouldn't put myself in like some sort of robot versus human empathy test because I would probably fail it. I can't help it. I don't feel enough. Like you're raised to be super independent so you view your parents more as friends than as family? Nah. If I was super independent, I wouldn't still be parasitically living in my mother's house. I fight more with my mother, but I'm more emotionally open with my mother as well. I get along on the surface with my father more, but if stuff gets complicated, he kind of shuts down. So there are some things I can't really discuss with him. Because he can become like passive aggressive and like run away from issues, whereas I can kind of discuss everything with my mother, even if it becomes like a shouting match, which it often does. I shouted at her today because she was passive-aggressively chiding me for not working on the yard, and she's been tearing out poison ivy and getting herself covered in poison ivy, itchy shit the past 2 weeks, and I'm just like, God damn it, Mom, that's right. I don't want to work on the yard, and I don't feel bad about not wanting to work on the yard. I don't care if that makes me like a non-adult person. This shit is stupid, just ignore the poison ivy. It doesn't matter. You've ignored it for many years. Poor mom, yeah. I do feel bad for her, but I also don't want to go and help her in her project. Also, she does it anyways. She was like, I need you to clear the poison ivy. I'm like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And when I went down to the basement today to start my laundry, she was like, why didn't you do it? And I'm like, god damn it, it's still 11 a.m., Mom. I can't fucking do shit immediately. I was sleeping. I'm sure that you said that you hate passive aggressiveness more than confrontation. Whatever, man. I don't like anything that isn't going exactly the way I want it to, because I'm a sociopath. Is your mom one of those why doesn't anyone help me but also refusing any help minds like that? Yeah. She said, why isn't people helping me? But she'll also do it before people helps them. She'll do it first and then she'll be like, well, that was great help for you. It's like, god damn it, Mom, you just did it yourself. If you would give us like 5 seconds, I'd fucking help you. A sociopath or a man-child? I am both. And you know what? I don't fucking care. It's too late. You can only deny your true nature for so long. That's women running a household in general. My mother does that for, like, everything, though. It's not just, like, you know, running a household. It's just, like, her general demeanor. Like, she provides you with, like, 0.5 seconds to react to something like opening a car door or something. Also, she won't expect it, like, 99% of the time. And then, like, sometimes she'll just have, like, sudden fits of being like, why don't you fucking help? It's like, Jesus Christ. What's going on today? Why did you suddenly start getting pissy about me not doing some specific thing? And then proceeds to break down when it gets overwhelming. Luckily, she doesn't do that. You should see how I get when I go into the kitchen. I get really bossy, bitchy. Yeah, this is why I also try not to do anything as like a communal activity with my mother. Because what she really wants is just like 18 clones of herself to do everything. She doesn't actually want you around helping her, because if you don't do it exactly what she's envisioning in her mind, then she's like, what the fuck, why are you doing this other thing? I'm like, I'm helping. You want me to help? You're like, you're not fucking helping. What they actually want is more versions of themselves. They don't actually want you. When the dishes are done or something. Yeah, I always do the dishes, so it's not like I don't do anything around house. It's just that it's not enough to, you know, satisfy her. And you know what? I truly don't give a fuck about the yard. I don't. I don't care about the yard. I don't care about any of the green shit that Americans have around their household, where they're like, oh, we have to maintain the yard, or we have to, like, cut the shrubbery and stuff like that. It's like, actually, you don't. You don't have to do any of that. It's not gonna fucking invade your house. You can just ignore it. It's fine. When she gets angry, she screams in Japanese. Nah, it's more like I scream at her in a mix of Japanese and English. Because she has a period when she's passive aggressive before she gets angry, and it pisses me off so much in that passive aggressive period that I like snap before she snaps. So as I'm getting older, as many old people do, I'm becoming less willing to tolerate bullshit and hide my feelings for long periods of time. So I'm steadily becoming the uncle at the Thanksgiving table who's like, you know what bothers me? Yeah, the Swedish. Fuck the Swedish. It's like, god damn it, Uncle. Please, Uncle Ball. Please don't have a racist rant again. It's like, no, I have to say this. I know we're all thinking it. Yeah, that's right. Fuck those Norwegians too. Holy fuck, literally me. I mean, you slowly become more and more racist and less tolerating of things you don't like. It's okay. We have plenty of Swedes in our Discord that will notify that I'm entirely justified in my hate of Scandinavians. Gaijin Uncle Ball ranting about Asanagi delays at the family dinner. The boobs are too big. Asanagi has fucked up. Another dojin. I keep on telling Asanagi to make the boobs smaller, but they're always too damn big. What the fuck, bro? I'm trying to come here. Swearing in any Slavic language? I don't even know. Can you be the first streamer to hate us Hungarians? We're not recognized enough to have haters, lol. The only time you hear about Hungarians is when you're being forced to learn about World War I in your history course, and they're like, here are the countries that were on each side. The Turkish Empire, Austria-Hungary. And people are like, where the fuck is Austria-Hungary? It's like, oh, it's somewhat near Germany, I guess. And that's like the last time you ever hear about Hungary in American culture, ever. It's just like the Austria-Hungary alliance or whatever the fuck it was, and that's it. World War I is fucking lame. There's a reason why we don't have many World War I movies or video games. It's because a gorillion people died sitting in trenches and watching their feet rot because they can never take their boots off. So yeah, it is kind of lame. It would be kind of crazy if someone showed up in chat and was like, you know what, I fucking love World War I. Said nobody. The whole Austro-Hungarian Empire, you could point like 1/3 of Europe and you would hit it in its prime. Yeah, it is kind of crazy, the type of like empires we've sort of forgotten. I think you need to have some sort of cultural impact that lasts in a way that still seems modern and relevant for people to remember your empire. And I'm sure there's some like local cultural impacts, but you can't really feel the Austrian-Hungarian Empire's impact in your daily life if you're a Western European, or at least an American. I don't know about Western Europe. I unironically like World War I. I fucking love World War I. Yeah, I'm sure there's some people like that. It's almost like our country was almost 3 times bigger 100 years ago. It do be like that. Just ask the Brits. Oh, the sun never sets on the British Empire. How is that doing now? As Ireland tries to secede from your island nation for like the 5th time. It's only getting smaller, boys. World War I failed to end all wars, sadly. We need nukes for that, ironically. Although there's still plenty of wars. But wars between countries that both have nukes, I guess, is what is the classification. Man, my wrinkles kind of fucking suck. Scotland too, yeah. Wales seems to be the only one that's like, yeah, we're okay with this English place. We'll stay here. Both Ireland and Scotland are like, fuck this guy. As they should, right? I mean, it's not like they're the same island. On the other hand, it is kind of like if Hokkaido was trying to secede from Japan. Or Kyushu was trying to secede from the main island. Guys, we used to be the largest empire. Guys, we're still cool, right? Right? I mean, that would be Mongolia, right? And despite everything, Mongolia kind of still is cool, if you ask me. Giant fucking plains and just a bunch of guys with their fucking goat herds in the middle of 10,000 miles of plains. Kind of fucking awesome. Also, everyone's still like, fuck China. Reminder that every Chinese person that's claiming to be Han Chinese is like a rape child of Genghis Khan, so, you know, whatever the Chinese accomplish, it's really just the Mongolians accomplishing shit. All meat and milk diet? Yeah, just have like a giant pot of boiled sheep meat all day long. World War I is the closest we will ever get to steampunk fantasy, but real. That's a pretty positive outlook of World War I guess. I mean, the aesthetic is definitely steampunk fantasy, right? You have gigantic cannons and locomotives, and people are still riding horses and stuff. Pretty much all of us are rape children to a certain point if you go far enough up in the ancestry. Nah, not true. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Gruck, properly courted my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, Groguk, with a very pretty rock and 2 or 3 sticks. Some nice sticks. He didn't have to rape her. Wasn't there some statistic that 1/3 of all people are Genghis Khan's descendants or something? Nice. 1 in every 1,000? Seems about right. I mean, Chinese people really do reproduce quite a lot, so he would have only had to have raped, like, I don't know, 10,000 women or something, whatever, and then they would, you know, all reproduce and have their children afterwards, so... Gragok was also Grok's niece. True. Hot. Only 10,000? You just need to do like 3 a day. So that would be like 1,000 a year, and then do that for 10 years. Not that hard. What's difficult is finding the woman to rotate through, so... I guess you have to impregnate the women that you come inside. You can't be firing blanks. That might make it a little more difficult. IRL Asanagi Dojin plots being physically weaker sucks. I mean, rape doesn't actually exist in Asanagi Dojins because they immediately realize that they're enjoying it within like 5 seconds. In fact, the guy only needs to pull out his dick, and then the female in Asanagi Dojin is immediately like, Doki, is this a strong male? I suddenly realize my destiny as a female. I'm only a breeding sow, blah 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 blah. You've seen it a million times, and it's like, wow, who could have seen that one coming? Damn. I can't believe she's lost the dick in 0.01 seconds. Shocking. I like the Asanagi Dojin in which it seemed like the main character was mind controlling his sister and childhood friend, but it turns around, spoilers, that he was the one being mind controlled from the beginning. it was his sisters mind controlling him so that he would rape them. He was actually an upstanding, good human being. But his sisters were too horny for the cock, that they couldn't deal with it. I love Asanagi's art style, but the content is, no. The boobs are too big. The facial features are too young. There's not enough muscle mass. I can't fap to it. I mean, I have fap to it. It's just like not my number one choice. Your art very vaguely reminds me of Nanashi 774. Are you talking about the author of, what's her name? Nagatoro? The author who was featured in an Asanagi Dojin recently. I love male mind control. Guys, have you ever thought about this? What if we're all being mind controlled? Or even more profound, what if we're actually in like a computer simulation? I know I'm blowing your mind right now. What if none of the things that we feel are real are actually real? It's a crazy idea, I know. I'm probably the only person who's ever thought about that. I'm a very creative thinker. I think outside of the box about ideas that nobody else has ever considered. Do you take the red pill or the blue pill? Holy shit. And then he's gonna use Alice in Wonderland symbology. God damn, this movie is so fucking deep. I've got to keep doing what I'm doing. If I suddenly start trying to fuck with the simulation, I'll have my consciousness evaporated. That's right. You have to keep on providing electricity. Even after the Matrix happened, we all collectively decided that it doesn't really matter if we are in the simulation. The point I'm trying to make is that everybody who has thought for 5 seconds already has had that idea before the Matrix showed around. And every one of those midwits who saw a Matrix for the first time and were like, holy shit, this is so profound, has a room temperature IQ and are fucking pathetic. And it absolutely makes me want to puke in my mouth that I had an English teacher who liked the Matrix, the first Matrix, so much, she literally made us watch the Matrix in fucking English class. I will never ever forgive her for this. This is like the 4th time I had seen The Matrix, of course, by that point, and I was like, I cannot fucking believe I'm being forced to watch the goddamn Matrix for the 18th time in fucking school. Holy shit, kill me. And she was like, oh man, The Matrix is so profound. I was like, oh my god, I fucking hate you. I cannot fucking believe you're my English teacher. Fuck you so much. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Yes, only people with a high IQ like myself can understand the complexity and writing of the Matrix. Yeah, that's right, guys. What if we're all being used as batteries? Because nothing's more efficient than, like, a human body, right? We blocked out the sun. So, these robots that were using solar power can't power themselves. Even though they're clearly fucking flying. The robots are flying in the Matrix. If the robots can fucking fly, maybe they can, you know, develop a fucking balloon to get above the cloud cover and get some solar power. But no, instead they're gonna put 1 million humans in battery generation devices because that's way way more efficient than getting to the fucking sun. Also, I'm sure they have some good way to feed these fucking humans that doesn't require sunlight. Yeah. Whatever food grows without sunlight. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I know you're not supposed to question these things in sci-fi because it can unravel the whole concept that they want to do cool shit pretty quickly, but Jesus Christ. Don't show this shit in English class, guys. I thought it was the robots, the ones that block the sun. I thought it was the humans. Honestly, I don't give a single fuck. It's the Matrix. Who cares? The only reason that the Matrix had any kind of value was because we got to see Trinity wearing skin-tight pleather outfits, and she wasn't even that hot. There's a reason why the Matrix 1 everybody liked, and then 2, 3, and 4 were all shit, and everybody was like, huh, that's kind of shitty. It's because the people who made the Matrix are fucking midwits. That's why. Just in case you haven't noticed. They literally say no one remembers who destroyed the sky. Wow. So deep, so profound. I mean, that makes sense considering they're all in fucking tubes. They wouldn't have any human history left. Latex suit was really good. If only we could develop Taimanin outfit fabrics in real life. That's all I ask for. Actually, I guess we have, considering we've convinced women that they should go to gyms and do squats wearing yoga pants that show off basically their entire pussy lips. They're like, this is appropriate gym attire. This pants that are so tight that they can see my vulva. What is a midwit? I believe midwit is a real word, unless I'm using it incorrectly. Midwit. It is in Urban Dictionary, someone who is around average intelligence but is so opinionated and full of themselves that they think they're some kind of genius. So I am using it correctly. I don't know if Urban Dictionary counts as proper words, but it does seem to be recognized. I definitely had been seeing this word quite a while. It does count. Thanks. Now I can use all my other words. For real, on God. Shit, Twitch recommended me this channel even though I always report those. Oh, Asian streamer who always wears latex costumes of her revolves around salivating in said latex. Don't ask how I know. I watched one boob streamer, and now I get all the other JAV streamers recommended to me, but I don't really click on them. I'm not saying that I'm exactly providing you guys with the most highest quality conversation topics on this stream, but I will say that most girls who have boobs on Twitch don't say particularly interesting things. When you're hot, you don't need to be funny or smart. At least if your goal is just to be a successful Twitch streamer. Most VTubers don't say interesting things either. I only follow one VTuber, and she does say interesting things. Mostly related to eroge porn, that somehow she has not been banned from constantly reviewing and streaming eroge porn games on fucking YouTube. So good for her, I guess. Just wear near eye covers and be sexy. Yes, women are sexier when I don't have to see their face. Near Automata understood this. We should have women wear cardboard, or not cardboard, but paper bags on their face. That's why they just play games and say cute, silly stuff. I'm not sure they play that many games, but yes. Some of them play games in limited amounts. There's a reason why just chatting is by far the most popular of categories in Twitch. Will you tell us who it is? I can't remember what her new name. Her VTuber company went bankrupt, and because they own the avatar and the name and the character and stuff, she had to change her avatar name. Also, it's all in Japanese, so unless you're Japanese fluent, you probably won't be able to watch her shit. No one reports it because it's a lot of kids gooning. Yes, the kids have to goon somehow. The 10 billion terabytes of porn readily available on the internet is not enough. They need their own live streamer, OnlyFans girl, so they can goon more effectively. VTuber company, gods, that sounds delusional. There's lots of VTuber companies, and most of them are known to be very abusive. This is because it takes a lot of money to produce one of these avatar things. So, naturally, the VTubers who want to get started can't pay for it themselves, and they have to have a company build it for them, and then the company owns all the rights and stuff, and then they get fucked. And its core is just another MCN. What the fuck does MCN stand for? Mass Content Network? I don't even know what it stands for. I fucking hate acronyms. I had to translate acronyms for like 8 years, and I could never figure out what the acronyms are. Engineers and acronyms, man. Multi-channel network. Was Machinima a multi-channel network? Rest in peace. Guys, remember watching Machinima videos? Oh man, 6 sniper shot compilation videos on Machinima. That was so cool. The good old days. Is it Machinima? 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 Also, no, I'm not that old. Stop trying to make us feel old. I know we're all still young. Bro, you couldn't even watch YouTube until I was in like my 2nd year of college. That's how fucking old I am. Machinima? I've seen people say Machinima as well, actually. Because I've seen like the downfall videos. People love their downfall videos. And there was definitely someone who was pronouncing it Machinima instead of Machinima. I think I always said Machinima back in the day. But obviously it's not a word that you say very often, considering the thing's been dead for years now. I hate how speaking on Twitch means people get to constantly correct your pronunciation of made-up words that don't exist. If you guys were speaking for 2 hours, you would have like 10,000 words that all the other people would be like, nah, you're pronouncing it wrong as well. Most of these words that people are correcting me for aren't even real words. They're just made up internet shit. GIF, GIF. I like saying GIF because I like peanut butter. It's also easier to say than GIF. I don't care if the acronym is makes more sense if you pronounce it with a G. You mean like when you say Bethesda, 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 Bethesda.
Bethesda. Bethesda.
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
It's pronounced Bethesda. That's not what this American pronunciation is saying. What about British pronunciation?
Bethesda.
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 The robot is wrong. Oh, fuck off. Who cares? It's gonna be shuttered in like 2 years anyways. It's owned by Microsoft now, guys. You may as well enjoy it while it still exists. Mario, Mario. It's a me, Mario. At least Mario constantly reminds you that his name is Mario. He's always telling you he's fucking Mario. At least I'm not gonna mispronounce that shit. It's a me. Ho ho ho. Oh, Mario. Ha ha. Whoa. That was kind of a mix with Mickey Mouse in there. Ha ha. Oh. 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 Here we go. Ho, ha ha. Waha. Mario, it's me. Oh. Waha. Ho, ho, here we go. What if I just stopped drawing and it was like, I'm gonna become a Mario 64 speedrunner now? I need you guys to still support me. But I'm gonna spend every day practicing carpetless. I would clap because Super Mario 64 speedrunning is fucking dope. I think I would be a little late for the party at this point. It's been going on for quite a while now. You'll have to do your Mario impression every jump though. Woo! Ha! Waha! Here we go! Race Simple Flips. Is Simple Flips the fastest guy right now? This shit changes so quickly. I can't pay attention to who's top. I used to watch a lot of Mario speedrunning, but I haven't really been tuning in recently. I haven't been tuning into Twitch in general because there isn't really any good way to block the ads, or at least I haven't found it yet. Whereas YouTube I can just block pretty easily, so. Simple Flips isn't the fastest, he's just the most entertaining. Here we go! I would be very sad but supportive because it would be something you want. I'm pretty sure the people who are Mario speedrunners don't actually want to be speedrunning Mario at this point in their life after they've been doing it for like 20 years. Like, which one of those guys is actually like, goddamn, every day I wake up and I just feel blessed that I can practice carpetless for like 8 hours. Which one of those guys, I'm sure there's some, which one of those guys at the end of their life when they're on their deathbed is like, I should have played more Mario. Should have practiced that trick more. The ones with gigatism? True. I fear that my autism powers are not actually strong enough for me to actually become a real speedrunner. I get bored after doing the same thing for more than like 15 minutes, which definitely kind of disqualifies me from being a speedrunner, that's for sure. The method seems to work 80% of the time now because Twitch keeps patching shit, but you can just copy paste some stuff into uBlock to force block ads. Interesting. Do you think they BLJ off their deathbed as they go to heaven? I can't even remember all the acronyms for all the different shit that they do. It's crazy how we have to have an acronym for just individual Mario tricks and shit. You are still vaguely functional as a human, even if it's painful. I was actually thinking about this because last night I was having an autism attack in which I was like, I don't want to have any kind of external stimuli and I don't want to be around people. I have to hide in this fucking darkened room for like the next 5 hours before I can reset. And I was just thinking, you know what? Sometimes I regret that I'm like a girlfriendless incel hiding in my mother's basement. But this is one of those times when I'm really, really glad that I'm in this current social position because I don't have some stupid ass girlfriend being like, hey, let's go party. It's Saturday night. I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, get away from me, Chandra. It doesn't happen as often right now as it used to because, again, I'm living at home and I don't have to expose myself, but for those of you who are not on the spectrum, let me explain. Helpful visual explanation. We'll make it a 10 layer here for ease. All right. So 0. Here we go. This is normies. Right here at 0. Or normal introverts. Let's just say start at introverts. And like on the over here, there's like -10, which is like the people that want to go and like fucking party and shit every day. Who just love meeting people, you know. Let's say Hystrixia is here. Hystrixia properly holds down a job where she goes and she has to deal with cringe boomers without fucking losing her mind, at least mostly. This is where I am. I did hold a job in an office space, although I tried very hard to not talk to people and was probably thought to be a weirdo, and I sat alone in the cafeteria. This is where we get into won't stop talking about trains. See, I don't like talking to people, but I know that they don't want to fucking know about the trains that I love. When you get into here, they don't fucking know that. They're gonna think that you care about their fucking trains, and they're gonna keep on talking to you. I know this because my mother took me to an autism Asperger meetup shit, and yeah, this is what happens when you start to get above the 1s or 2s. Then it's like over here, these people are barely holding a job. Here, you literally can't hold a job because people cannot fucking tolerate them. They won't just. Not only will they not stop talking about trains, they can't fucking realize that they're not allowed to, like, I don't know, fill the company refrigerator with like squirrel carcasses or some shit like that. They become too inappropriate to everyone around them that the office is just like, you can't work here at all. So you better be like some sort of insane savant area. And over here is where we get the people that cannot speak. And people are like, what are you talking about? People with autism can speak. It's like, no, they actually can't. When you get to full autism, and I've seen people with full autism because I worked at a YMCA, and there would be mothers who were trying to give their level 9 and 10 and 8 autistic kids swim lessons so they wouldn't fucking drown. The kids just like, they cannot communicate with the outside. Chris Chan and 8, yeah. So Chris is somewhere around here. Maybe a little lower. I don't know. He's probably like a 7 maybe. The screaming, yes. Any kind of stimuli for 9 and 10 is too much, and they're just gonna fucking start screaming, and they're gonna start slapping the walls or hitting themselves, and etc. So my mother should be very happy that I'm here instead of here or here. When you get to 9 and 10, these kids are both a risk to themselves and others, because eventually they're going to become a grown adult and they can't communicate, and they're just going to be like punching the wall and shit like that. So real autism is scary. People who have like max level autism are way less functional than people with like Down syndrome and stuff. It's not pretty. I used to be a 5 when I was tiny. I can't remember anything of when I was young. So I don't know how bad it was. I remember when I went to Japan as a 6-year-old, and like all the kids rushed me because I was like, you know, the new zoo, the new animal in the zoo kind of. They wanted to all be my friend, and I started fucking crying on the first day because it was too much pressure to be surrounded by people. That was like, you know, normal kid things, but there would have been other children who could have been handled that kind of center of attention. I was just like, fuck, this is so pressure. I was mute until 3. You might be at a higher level than I was, at least, but you've properly socialized yourself better than I have in later stages. And these days, the autists are being preyed on by the Corinthian cultists. Fun. I mean, if you're a high enough autism level, they can't even prey on you, because you will only respond to whatever, you know, latest train model you want to talk about. I was mute by choice. Only talked if I knew you. You realize that all the adults around you weren't worth your time and chose to stay silent. Smart. You were like Oda Nobunaga pretending to be stupid so you wouldn't be assassinated. Many such cases in warring states Japan. Not much different now. Yes, but now you have to talk to people because, you know, Sandy is gonna stop by your fucking cubicle and be like, hey, and you're like, hey. Hi. Oh, I have to go. Sorry, meeting starting. Bye. Hide in a different part of the building. Come back 10 minutes later when she's gone. You think she's gone, but instead she's talking to the other person in the other cubicle. You're like, God damn it. I was so inefficient when I had to work in an office because there was all these people constantly making fucking chit-chat while I'm trying to translate shit. God, that was awful. Corporations really don't care if you're being efficient in the office or not, or else they wouldn't fucking allow the extroverts to have 40-minute long conversations about their stupid children. What they care is that you're under their control in visible location. Is that weird or like a sign of autism? I thought that was normal. There's probably a lot of people in this chat that are probably have some level of undiagnosed autism spectrum shit. You might just be an introvert. Introverts aren't necessarily going to talk to other people because they have their own internal world to think about. Please come back to the office, I beg you. You can't just do your job even more efficiently at home, Marie. Yes. It's important that they keep control. It's not important whether you're being efficient or not. Do you ever have an OCD type thing? I used to count the corners of every square. No, I don't. Every once in a while I'd be like, I have to turn off that light or some shit like that, but that's hardly in the OCD level. And I've trained myself to not pay attention to that shit. I feel like OCD is more related to ADHD, but maybe it doesn't really even matter. The 4 heavenly kings of mental disorders in 2024. Autism, ADHD, OCD, and I don't know, depression. Depression seems a little too normal. How about manic depressive? I don't know. They are trying and the recent COVID spread has foiled them again. Just get vaccinated. Then come back to the office. Chuds. Well, the good thing about the office is that it had lots of air conditioning. At least I can say that, unlike my fucking house. I like how OCD only weakens its grip when you're so tired that your brain slowly halts all activity. Oh no. Now all your most beloved family members that you're protecting through your OCD activities, like moving your plate 2 centimeters to the right, now they're all gonna die. Now that your brain is weakening, don't give up. You have to fight the good fight, OCD friends. Don't let your mother die from your lack of flipping the light switch 15 times. Summer illnesses are the fucking worst. Yeah, because you're already hot, and then your body temperature goes up even farther when you get sick. Fucking sucks. I'm glad I haven't gotten sick very much since no longer going to the office, for sure. It really was sickness. I got sick like once per year my entire life until COVID happened, and then I got to stay at home all day long. And now I don't get sick anymore. Feels good, man. I didn't have a thought that something bad would happen. You just do it. I thought that OCD people were all like, I have to touch the steering wheel 8 times in specific timings or else everybody's gonna die. They're not just like, this is so cool. Usually leg bouncing and or rubbing my hands together. I think people get that even if they're not necessarily autism spectrum, right? Don't ADHD people have that even more than autism people? Every once in a while I would do the leg bouncing thing, but I stopped. But sometimes I'll do it just like for funsies, I guess. It helps if you're not drinking caffeine, to say the least. Just stop drinking caffeine and eating sugar, bro. Easy. I'm glad I don't have ADHD. In many ways it feels like ADHD is even worse than autism. Because whenever they do like the special segment on autism, they'll always choose to introduce one of those autistic people who have fucking superpowers, and who are like, yes, he can invent this one thing using his autism powers that nobody else understands. But no one's like, yeah, I have ADHD, which gives me the superpower of not being able to focus. I must chug a 40-ounce cup of black coffee each day. I used to drink a lot of black coffee, caffeinated, and it was just fine and I could sleep. And then one day during the pandemic, because I was drinking it in the office, because they provided you with coffee, of course. And one day in the pandemic, I was drinking it at home and brewing my own coffee. And I suddenly started getting vertigo. I started losing my equilibrium. So like my head was spinning and I was like dizzy and I couldn't tell what was causing it. And it took like 1 or 2 days to go away, but I was in a lot of pain during that, like just feeling nauseous. And I was like, maybe it's caffeine, but that's weird. I thought I wasn't having any trouble with caffeine until then, but I cut caffeine from my diet, and every once in a while I'll try drinking some more caffeine or eating some more caffeine, and I can feel the vertigo come back. So it is being caused by the caffeine. And it's interesting that I didn't have this problem for a really long time, and it suddenly developed at some point. But the human body changes, so I don't drink caffeine anymore. I only drink decaf. For anybody who drinks a shit ton of caffeine and that happens to you, just for your reference, it might be the caffeine. You had the same thing happen. I started getting panic attacks when I was 25. It wasn't really panic attack. It's like literal dizziness. Like the world was spinning, you know? I would lie down and the entire world was just spinning around me. That was it. It wasn't any like couldn't sleep or was having a panic attack or anything like that. It was just dizziness. But man, it sucked, man. Nausea and dizziness really fucks you up. I would get vertigo while commuting home from work. The best time to get vertigo when you're operating a motor vehicle and running into people. Then it turned into a panic attack. Huh. Can drinking Coke be considered consuming caffeine? Yes. Coke has a lot of caffeine. It depends how much you're drinking per day, but Coke has quite a bit of caffeine. Have you ever taken a multivitamin or an empty stomach? I'm not sure. I don't think I take multivitamins, although my mother has a lot. Does the brush have a sound effect, or did you just hear the pen scrape over the screen? It might be. I mean, I am rubbing an object against the screen. There's also a lot of clicking on the hotkeys that you might be hearing. Or it might be something from the jazz that you're listening to right now. Too much caffeine, bright lights, panic attacks for me? Yeah. As modern human beings, we've been trained to only be functional while we're highly caffeinated. But that's not a good idea. We shouldn't do that. When I stupidly boiled Red Bull and used it to pour over a coffee, 71 hours of no sleep, last hour with seeing sounds and hearing colors, sound hallucinations started to be really noisy. You can have like heart trouble by taking too much caffeine pretty easily. Once you start doing shit like boiling down Red Bulls, you can actually fucking kill yourself. People have got into cardiac arrest by the guys who drink a lot of powdered caffeine before they start working out because it helps them lift harder. You're in danger of like having a heart attack if you take the wrong dosage. Caffeine can be pretty dangerous. In general, boiling anything is bad for you. There was that guy who boiled down NyQuil and ate it with raw chicken as a meme, and he just fucking died. Basically, you can probably create something with a lethal dose of concentration by boiling down pretty much anything, if you think about it. Wait, he died? I think he did. I can't remember if that's what happened, but I think he did. NyQuil chicken death. Don't know. Death of at least one person and the hospitalization of 3 others, it says. Drow mommy legs. Yeah, she's here to show off those that skin. Thanks for the reminder. That's right, Hystrixia. I have to come out here and give out this public service warning, because I know that if I don't remind you, you're just gonna start pulling that raw chicken out and dousing it in NyQuil and boiling it down. Nobody can resist the delicious temptation of NyQuil chicken. Too much pre in the gym on a hot day is just shooting yourself in the leg. I mean, guys, do we really need to do that much pre for our lifting as someone who doesn't do like any actual serious lifting? Do we really need to do like shots of creatine and caffeine and stuff like that during pre? Wasn't there, what's his name? I forgot his name. Was it Caleb? He was like a Final Fantasy VII and Mega Man speedrunner who is like has quite a few viewers. Didn't his fucking heart stop recently? I was watching another streamer and he was talking about it. That the guy's heart stopped. And he was someone who worked out a ton. You could tell that he was relatively jacked by streamer standards. And it's probably because he was doing too much pre-routine stuff. Unless he had like already genetic heart condition or something. Creatine is nice, but pre is really useless though. When I was taking creatine for a while just to see if it was effective, and it was effective. When I was playing like pickup basketball and swimming, I had like an extra layer of energy that I could go to. Like when you start to feel, you would feel like you were done. It was like I had a second burst. So it was effective for, I guess, what it was supposed to be doing, but I don't really think you really need it. You gotta run and have less chemicals in your body to improve it. You do have to run. Unfortunately, no pain, no gain, boys. If you're not suffering to some degree, your body probably isn't getting stronger. But when you're my age, you also can't overdo the suffering. Because when you're like, yeah, I can feel the weakness leaving my body, sometimes your tendons just fucking snap and you're like, oh cool, I tore my MCL. I guess the whole thing of what doesn't kill me makes me stronger was incorrect. Because I'm fucking old now. Just running and doing aerobic exercises for your body. You don't have to be strong, get through most of modern life, just be able to run. Humans are built to run. They're not necessarily built to lift heavy objects and put them up and down. Our prehistoric caveman bodies are built to run after prey for hundreds of miles and then like catch it by grabbing it. That's what, I don't know, the scientists have said. So we should build our bodies like that. Just run long distances. I generally feel that your workout should be like 80% cardio and like 20% anabolic stuff. Like, you really don't have to overdo the strength training and shit. Walking is the best exercise, exactly. If you're old, you just go on long walks. That way you won't destroy your knees and shit. When I want to run really fast, I listen to the opening to Civilization 6. Was it 6 or 5? Calling All Dawns. And I pretend like I'm a prehistoric African in Pangaea running through the Serengeti. This allows me to channel the strength of, you know, the Ethiopian Olympic marathon runners or whatever. Just imagine that you're not white. I like strength training, but cardio does so much for basic daily stuff. When I'm at Planet Fitness, what I do is I get on the elliptical while I read isekai novels on my phone, and then I do the elliptical for like 10-minute spurts, and then I get off the elliptical and do like weightlifting, and then go back on the elliptical, and I do this for like an hour and a half often. That way I can read my isekai novels and also get a good sweat in. Have you ever heard the Planet Fitness lunk alarm? Yeah, and I think it's gone off by mistake. I think they have a button underneath the desk, and every once in a while they bump it by mistake, because it goes off at like completely nonsensical times. Just like, "Meow," and people will like look at the desk, and the desk is like, I don't know, it just went off. Also, they have all these like rules about what you can and can't wear at Planet Fitness, like no tank tops and stuff, and the guys generally follow that shit, but the girls frequently show up in stuff that is basically just a sports bra. I'm like, yo, this is clearly a violation of dress code, but nobody's gonna do anything about it. Not that I care. They just don't want gym bros. They don't care if women are dressed like prostitutes, basically. I usually enjoy 40 minutes on the treadmill with an incline and then leg presses and curls. Yeah, you should do squat shit as long as you're not destroying your knees. It's always important to get your legs strengthened because you have to be able to walk everywhere, you know. As long as your lower body is strong enough, everything else is just kind of extra. Going to Planet Fitness with painted on pants. I've had like a manager guy walk up to me after I was using machine and asked whether I was properly wiping it down or not because I was so sweaty, and I was like, yeah, I am wiping it down. I thought of filing a fucking complaint. Just like, Jesus Christ, man. If I'm not allowed to sweat in the fucking gym, then where am I allowed to sweat? It's kind of ridiculous. Planet Fitness, they really don't want to have anybody who's actually like properly working out. In fact, they don't actually want anybody to come. They just want you to pay your membership and then nobody to come. This probably goes for every gym. Is that they just want you to be paying them $100+ a year and just not show up. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I feel like I'm feeling pretty sleepy. I'm being a sleepyhead right now, so I'm going to end now. See you around, guys. Oh, good night.